felt as good or as easy as when we were young. Oh, though I felt misunderstood, it was a pleasure running away with you. We were just children acting like a doll, crazy, naive, bold and carefree. We were kids having kids, crazy, naive. It amazes me that we didn't fall apart harder than we did. Now they keep us on speaking terms. We grow and we learn. I have no regrets, only forgets. Oh, a big thank you to life for giving us sand. Oh, when the timing's right, there's no wasteland. Oh, we were just children acting like a doll, crazy, naive, bold and carefree. We were kids having kids, crazy, naive. It amazes me that we didn't fall apart harder than we did. Oh, life keeps on moving. It's cold. We were
and dancing. Yes, we've traveled far since we met up. Now I need to get some rest. Nevertheless, a caress. So let me give you a part of myself, she said. Larger ain't bolder, and wiser ain't older. Just hold on to what you believe in. Yes, everything changes, and so must we. Just stay true to what you believe in. When the nightingale sings, you should spread your wings.